Okay. So almost everything in here is kind of an antique, and it's a repurposed space actually after my dad built this building in 1999, which at that time was the first industrial flex use building in Hollywood in 30 years. And at that time, it was kind of what we call flex use is now what we would really call more creative office. And he built this originally, especially this space, which is about 3,600 square feet, for my mother to store and showcase all her antebellum and Civil War horse carriage collection.
Wow.
Even that of including Rockefeller's coach curtain carriage from 1850. And we had parties here at that time, and we'd open up the doors and basically have everything like kind of like for tables and everything showcased like out front. She also had all her horse accolades and ribbons and prizes and pictures of all her award-winning Andalusian horses up on the second floor. When my dad died in 2013, my mother decided she wanted to leave Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
And eventually take all her memorabilia and her very prolific collection and move it up to her new home in Westlake Village, of which she spent 3 years building a new home up there.
Okay, let's look for her wedding. Sorry about that, but this is a good backdrop.
So, I had an idea, like back in the day, like after my dad died, he had an extensive taxidermy collection.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to entertain people and throw parties at our home in West Hollywood, which is right up the hill from the Chateau Marmont.
Wow.
And used to love taking people down the wine cellar, taking people to his bar. And I mean, this was his real price, his favorite building that he ever built. And this was a place where he had his collection of all his outdoorsman travels from all over the world, from Africa to Asia to even Russia, Siberia, and Europe, and parts of North America. And we always had a wonderful time and an amazing experience, from having drinks, burning the fire, really just marveling at, like, wow, these magnificent animals and these stories of how he had hunted all over the world. It was really kind of amazing. And I figured I wanted to recreate that kind of experience eventually, which I thought would honor his memory and his legacy. And what better place to do it when my mom was going to move out her horse carriages and have another place to remove and relocate all the taxidermy. And it took a long time because it was like 8 years of dreaming in the making and kind of repurposing the approved use for the space.
Okay,
So I went through probably a 4-year process of one, kind of getting the approvals and changing the use for the space, transferring a liquor license, getting that actually working for kind of an enclosed chill venue that's actually not exactly open to the public, not a bar, not a restaurant,
not exactly a nightclub,
not a nightclub.
So you're looking for a particular type of, when I first stepped inside here, my jaw just dropped. I did like a Colin McCaukin from Home Alone. And the first thing that got to me were the taxidermy, the heads. It is what it is. And there is this guy here, one of the guys, he really is from Nigeria. And he said, I had never seen animals like this. And he's from goddamn Nigeria. And I had this weird feeling that this is, I think your dad just killed it all the last time.
It's, it could be a controversial thing, but the thing is that these were animals that are also, I don't see them as like dead animals. I see them as statues.
Yeah.
And I actually, if anything, this is a measure of conservation, because hunters are the worst enemies of poachers, who are murderers.
Yeah.
And these are all over 60 years old. All these were taken with permits.
Yeah.
All of them were used to help sustain very local economies and use any excess meat to help feed villages and other small towns. And
Well,
it was like,
I'm not my race. I'm not my faith. I'm actually a redneck from Goose Creek, South Carolina. And there's we did too well with the deer population that there are too many damn deers. And all my friends back home complain that all these deers will go use their backyard as a bathroom. And the way we kill deers is we get stinking ass drunk on deer. We drive our pickup trucks in the middle of the night, and we just bulldoze those damn ass deers. We don't shoot them. They're just standing there in the middle of the road, and we just run them over and get them in the back of the pickup truck.
well, you know what I mean? I'm not so much. I myself am not a hunter. I'm not a killer.
Yeah.
But I'm also, I don't disagree with the hunting because I know that these are, this is government sanctioned, approved, chosen carefully for what actually will not hurt the herds, the ecosystem on that. And they're so old that I wanted to, and that's why I didn't want to create a hunting lodge.
Yeah.
I wanted to create an experience that feel like you go back in time.
Exactly. It feels like a time warp.
Yes, I want this place to feel like it's been here forever. It's timeless. Like you're going back 100 years as if it's been here for over 100 years.
Yeah, you use the real things that were at least 60 years old. And you put it back in a proper environment. And I understand why you're kind of selective about the group of people you let in, because you want these people not only learn about history, but appreciate the history, not just get stingy ass drunk and spill their cheap ass liquor all over the animals' heads.
Well, that's why it's not generally open to the public. You have to book an event here. You have to come in and see it first before you get anything. Because this is still a family building. It's still something that I wanted to create that. There's been a lot of money, time, carefully chosen and curated antiques. Where almost everything in here is an antique.
I noticed that. In fact, I was
even the hardware of the bathrooms.
Wow, yeah.
That's kind of the thing. It's all right, may seem crazy because it's very expensive, but this was kind of the honor I wanted. I wanted to create a place that if my dad came back here, he would have been blown away. It's oh wow.
Yeah.
And because we always had a very strict appreciation for quality construction, for something that'll be here for forever. This is a forever place.
Well, you're gonna kill me, but I'm a member of Noid House down the street.
You're
member of Noid House, new house.
No, oh, okay.
Down the street, that used to be the CBS studios where they used to film I Love Lucy, and Bill Paley used to have his office right on top of the roof. I'm a member now, and right now us members cannot use any of the facilities because we always get fucking outbid by Netflix and TV. It's oh, what's upstairs right now? Oh, it's a private event. Well, I'm a member. Why can't I get in? So I was thinking, well, if us members can't use our own space, can we rent out this historical event?
Yes, absolutely. Anybody can. I made this to be as eclectic as possible to where you could have over 220 people standing room in here. Sitting, you're about 120. But if you expand out to the patio, we can make this 400 people. And if you want to do screenings or watch a game or watch the Academy Awards or any other movies or just have a private party, this is a very, very personalized kind of, where we are absolute white glove treatment for anybody who wants to work it. So surround sound, movie screen coming down. We actually just had a film festival event about 2 weeks ago, and I want to do things for hey, if you have anybody who's a member of the Academy who wants to get their screenings done and stuff, it's and actually, hey, let's all get together and have some fun watching movies and stuff together. This is the place that it should be. You have a wonderful projection screen, and you could do I mean, we have Emmys coming up. You could do the Emmys after parties. You could watch the Emmys here. You could watch the Academies here. You could watch the World Series here, or the NBA Finals, the Super Bowl. You could do, pretty much it's as flexible as you want to make it.
I'll be blunt with you. This is like a classy version of Hollywood. I'm sorry, but it's it's Hollywood. It is, but it's classy, and but it's like a classy version of the Playboy Mansion. Well, the ick.
Hey, if you want to get a little weird here and kind of crazy, I mean, it'll all be discreet and no one else has to know about it.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure it's like you have the ability to not only have wonderful crafted drinks and cocktails, because we have a full liquor license and an entertainment license, whereas, as you could hear, there is a very talented singer performing the background for our guests tonight.
Yeah.
You have a full service catering kitchen, so it's we really are as flexible and as versatile as you want to make this space out to be for a private party, a special occasion, an event where you want to take your colleagues to a corporate situation. It's like, hey, we want to be your go-to source for something special and memorable that is unlike anything else in Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, I'm also a member of the Academy Museum of Motion Arts. So I belong to two up-and-coming clubbies.
Oh,
And well, it's big, but we thought we knew how it was big unless we got kicked out of our own house by corporate. So if we don't have any space at the Academy Museum or at Noid House down the street, can I reach out to you?
Please, absolutely. I mean, I'm someone who wants to curate, just like, hey, be a part of your experience. That actually wants to make sure that, hey, this feels like home. This feels like someplace special.
Yeah, it is special.
Yeah, I mean, I want it to feel as special as what I created it to, and everybody feels that way. It's like and they feel like it's their place too.
This is very Mad Men. This is something that Don Draper and his boss would take take over for the Mad Men agency event. Get it?
Yeah, I want to be, but I want to be better than that. I mean, because that's a TV experience, but it's a pretty good analog. But I wanted to feel it's like, oh wow, you get something really, really special from booking it here. It's like you chose Trophy Room because it was unlike anything else of an experience that you wanted to give everybody else that you wanted to share it with.
Especially here in Hollywood. Even though Hollywood is relatively young compared to Charleston.
Sure.
There is a definite history, but about Hollywood, they're all about trying to erase their past, but the past always catch up with them. Here, you celebrate the history of California before there was a Hollywood. I'm looking at all your Civil War memorabilia. It's like, this is his family? This is his family serving the Union Army?
I've just been, it's kind of, when I created this place, I kind of just grew into, what you just say, kind of like the old lady pastime of antiquing.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy antiquing. And if I can find the oldest things I can possible to, I mean, even this piece right here is an antique. I mean, this is an old French table with a brass, with the brass plate from Tokyo. So it's just like, I mean, I wanted to create a vibe that everything was super old. My doors alone and this frame here are at least 150 years old. They're Indian doors. Not necessarily, not these doors, but the ones that are actually my other entry wood doors.
Yeah, and I've seen you have a family crest too.
Well, no, actually, I created that crest just from scratch. I personally have detailed everything in this. I designed this logo. The bear on top of the logo is actually modeled off the actual Alaskan brown bear that's in the corner of the left part of the building. So it's almost kind of like Build-A-Bear, which we call Build-A-Bear.
You build bears. I get stuck with teddy bears.
They could be your teddy bears.
Okay, all right, yeah. And man, I mean, I'm Gen X. I'm surrounded by all these millennials and Gen Z because we're all like social media people. The thing is, we both have a sense of history, but I don't know about the millennials and Gen Zers. Their eyes were just popping. They can't believe, oh, there's like actual dead animal heads? Well, yeah.
Well, I figure whoever has a problem with it is not going to book it. So it's just like, hey, they'll stay away. Everybody else who just wants to see like craftsmanship on construction, on architecture, on design, on just like absolute quality and service are going to come to Trophy Room.
It just serves, but you install a sense of history, and you're not afraid of it. You don't try to disguise it or hide it or make excuses for it.
Oh, not at all. Because I know the messages. It's like this is an expression really of conservation. This is not a celebration of indiscriminate hunting or of any sort of poaching. I mean, because it's all of this actually is kind of an honor to these animals, and we absolutely celebrate conservation, protection, and I'd say really things that make that keep all the negative and really awful things about the poaching and what everybody disdains and can't stand about that like away. I mean, places like this make murderers like who take away things like who take animals' lives just for like a certain key item away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a sense of responsibility that continued the hunter-gatherer tradition of millennia ago, in a way. And plus, you know, I'm a redneck. I eat my favorite, you know, people ask me, what's your favorite dish in your hometown, Laura? Fried gator tails and pup pastry. That's Charleston. We still have that hunter-gatherer, but we make it fancy and white cream sauce.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, you could have, we can enjoy certain things. So, I mean, I think that there's a balance of stuff. It's like you have to understand like both stories. I mean, somebody you're never gonna like killing wildlife. Understandable. I mean, it'd be hard for me to like go out and do it, but I don't really look at this as just going out and indiscriminately killing or slaughtering or just enjoying like death. I think it's sportsman, outdoorsman. I think it actually does appreciate nature. You eat what you kill,
and
just like fishing. You eat what you fish.
Yeah.
And if there are concerning numbers about the wildlife that you go out and it's like then you know they wouldn't allow permits for it.
Yeah.
But the hunters actually go out that actually pay for this, which is some of this is like thousands and thousands of dollars of the experience, and whether they like it or not, they keep out the evil people who are the murderers who just kill and with no approvals or anything.
Poachers who will like kill rhinoceros for their horns and discard the rest of the body. They just go after the horns, or they kill tigers for their teeth, their saber-tooth teeth, and discard the rest of the body.
And they're murderers.
Yeah.
And they make hunters look bad. And a hunter is probably the poacher's like worst enemies because they're the ones who come in and they actually keep poachers away. When they see them, poachers, they see hunters and they flee because hunters report them and they get the game wardens on them and they actually, hunters will even go after them.
Wow.
Because hunters don't hate animals. They actually love animals.
That's interesting.
No, that's.
We need to teach those young vegan kids to listen to.
Well, they're not out there to like hurt or like take or just like because they just want to kill. It's actually because this is a very old I think survival skill that we had that's probably been demonized quite a bit. I mean, and I'm not quite for it. I mean, I don't partake in it anymore, but I don't disagree with it either. And I'm the biggest animal lover there is. So I know that the absolute difference between hunting and poaching.
Yeah.
And it's a super wide gap.
Well, I believe hunting is not just for survival, but also a little bit of animal control. Like I said earlier, like they're a little too good with the deer population to a point that my old high school friends, my old childhood friends who still live in the South, they complain all these damn deers are pooping all over their backyard, and they just want to get rid of them now.
Well, I can see that for like certain engagement and like control, but it's like you know, I mean, I think if you're being responsible about it, if you're being and you're also being respectful in nature about it, there's it's easy to villainize someone who has a rifle and or a shotgun and does that. I mean, hey, what's the difference between fishing or like, hey, duck hunting or something like that? I mean, they're all animals too, but you know, I don't think anybody does it because it's just like they want to get rid of animals or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because it's like they actually do it because they love the outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still ranky. All my friends still live outdoors, and that's why I decided to stay in the deep South. I still got friends and their son who still hunt turkey. Now, if you want to talk scary ass shit, you need to have never encountered a wild ass turkey in the middle of the night.
Oh, I mean, I went on turkey hunts, and that's actually when I was younger with my dad, and yeah, it could be quite a situation. I mean, sometimes hunting's really dangerous too.
It is, because you're dealing with wild animals who don't give a second thought of killing you.
Exactly. Well, well, I'd love to listen to Nikki.
I'm sorry for
perform
holding you
here,
back, but I'm glad you explained, both sides of the story.
Sure.
When people come in, they're like, whoa. And you guys explain, there's a reason behind this.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, it's not like, these are old. It's not like any of this is recent. This is done from like 6 years ago. That's why I wanted to create a place that felt like, hey, you're going back in time. And I didn't want it to be a hunting lodge. I wanted it to look like a Victorian ballroom. That's why I tried to spend a lot of money on kind of making it timeless, to make it look like it's been here forever. And that's the way I want people to feel. It's like I want them to feel elegant. I want them to feel in awe. I want them to feel like, wow, what is this place all about?
Well, today I wear fake plastic platter. But when I was growing up, I had a real deerskin cap visor engraved, and my favorite pot pie was Bambi in a pot pie.
I still have never seen Bambi, by the way. I mean, like, but I know I'd probably cry at the end of the movie from what they tell me what happens at the end.
Nah, not me. Bambi used my backyard as her bathroom. I said, that's it. You're going.
But
You're going.
but you also go off onto the right side staircase. You'll see probably over 60 photos of really antiquated, some of them are family photos from like over 100 years ago.
I recognize that. That's why I had to ask about it. It's like, are those the family memorabilia from the Civil War?
Well, some of it's like, we didn't get... There are some Civil War pictures where I had to like specially find that. If I found that in an antique store, I had to have it.
Yeah.
I mean, and done in a certain way where they did chalkware or charcoal drawings, and I mean, it was like, all right, that's special. And then like whatever was old and whatever like I could find even from my own family, from at least on my mother's side, and yeah, it was pretty neat. That's why I wanted to. Almost everything in there is an antique. Even the pool table is a restored pool table from almost like even back as old as like 1890.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got lucky with finding some of my things, and I'll keep searching for it.